Hey Royals, welcome to our team kit. Today I'll be using the sweet ice cream stamp set along with the ice cream builder punch. Gonna whole life flip and we'll get started. Okay, let's make sure everything's nice and tight. A little bit of wobbles, there we go. We'll get everything into view. So today we're making 4 cards, and if you ordered this kit, you have it either in front of you or you're watching the replay, and you can stamp along with me. They're really fun. Let me show you what we are using for it. Was that sweet ice cream stamp set, and I'm using actually a lot of these stamps today. I'm doing the happy birthday, you're so cool, you melt my heart, hope it's sweet, and a couple of these little popsicle pieces as well. Super fun set. The punch for this one looks like this and is currently on back order, but hopefully that will come off soon and everyone can get both of them. All right, so let me show you each card. We'll go ahead and start with this one. It's kind of a fun fold because it has this mini card base here in the center and has an untraditional card base. Let's go ahead and start with that one and we'll keep on going with the rest. So if you have your kit, go ahead and grab out the Bermuda Bay looking one. And this one I kept kind of separate because it didn't fold exactly the same. So it should be in its own little clear envelope as well. Take this one out. Later on, I will have all of my measurements up for you guys. So measurements I'm not going to worry too much about today, but they will be up and over on my blog later. This card features, however, our amazing Ice Cream Corner DSP. I was able to punch out, using the ice cream builder punch, there we go, all our little ice cream flavors, which is super fun and makes it easy on that DSP. See, if I flip it over this side and you can see the other design on that other side. And there's even paper that looks like the cone itself. So I went ahead and punched those all out for you in your kits, and all we have to do now is assemble. Let's go ahead and start with our Bermuda Bay and our DSP, and we're going to attach these two together. Use your liquid glue or your seal, whatever is your choice of adhesive. I'm going to go ahead and use just a little bit of seal on this one, and we'll flip it over and line it up. Just like that. There we go. Next, we have this card base here with these 2 pieces. One's for the outside, one's for the inside. Let's go ahead and do some stamping now. Let's grab our Bermuda Bay, and let me grab my foam mat. This is one of my favorite things. It looks really crazy and kind of messy, but I use this to stamp with my photopolymer all the time. Mostly just to get a nice clear image, because rubber stamps are a little bit different than photopolymer, and they need that extra little cushion. For little stamp images, you'd be just fine and you wouldn't need it, but for some of these bigger items, it's nice to have. All right, so you have our Bermuda Bay, and I'm going to just stamp Happy Birthday along this side. The stamp for Happy Birthday, I usually go at a diagonal so that it fits on the little square blocks. If you have a larger block, feel free to use that one instead. So let's ink this up. And I'm going to let me go ahead and turn it this way so we see a little bit better. And stamp it. So it has a little bit of room up down here and a little bit of room there. So almost center on this side. Awesome. Love that. Now, if you have Pool Party handy as well, go ahead and grab that one out. And let's just add a little bit of extra details to this one. So I have my Pool Party, and we're going to grab, these aren't sprinkles. There's a sprinkle one in here. These are more like bubbles, I would say. I don't know how to describe these ones. They're just like the perfect background look, though. So just add a little bit of those, and you can go full on or you can stamp off. I'm going to just stamp it in a couple places like that. Most of this section will have your ice cream, and so you won't need to fill that space at all. If you want, you can even add a couple of those to the inside piece of your basic white. And so it kind of carries over. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to attach those to our Bermuda Bay mini card base is what I'll call that one. And I'm going to go ahead and use our liquid glue. Well, let's see. I think I'll be fine. Sometimes I second guess how straight I can make things go. And so I like to have my liquid glue for that extra wiggle. But I'll just make sure I line it up lightly first and then press down. There we go. Not too bad. Let's go ahead and do our inside as well. I do really like to use the Seal Plus or the Seal adhesive for white cardstock gluing because then you don't see any glue lines, which you kind of get sometimes when you use the liquid glue. All right, see that? Okay, there we go. Go ahead and now let's attach it. Oh, you know, I forgot. So hopefully you haven't done it. That's okay. We can save this a little bit. You should have gotten some ribbon with yours like this. And what you would do originally is to sneak it behind this white one and tuck it under so it looks like it's going under. You know what? I might be able to just remove it a little bit. There we go. I did it. Okay. So don't do this. I already have yours ready to go. I'm just going to tuck that under like that behind each end. Oh, I might need to use a glue dot real quick to make sure or add some more adhesive there. Oh, so sneaky. That's what happens when I get too excited and I forget. Okay, tuck this ribbon in again. And then let's see if we can't attach it to there by laying it straight. This is a great example how I am not the perfect stamper. I make mistakes all the time. Oh, so we need more adhesive on this end. So we're just going to add a little bit there. Let's see if that helps me. And luckily I didn't push down too heavy. So I should be able to, I was able to lift it up. Okay. Let me see if I can now push that down. No, all right, I had to use a glue dot. Glue dot to save the day. So now what I'm gonna do is just add a glue dot to the end of this ribbon and make it wrap around. And that should save it. There we go. Perfect. Okay, now we can continue going. This part we will use liquid glue for. We're just gonna add our little ice cream cone on the bottom and then start layering it up. There we go. And because this is loose right here, I'm going to just sneak that underneath it. Just like that. There we go. And then just pick whatever order you want. You want to have at least 4 of them on there. I have a couple extras so I can look at my colors. Let's go ahead and do those colors right there. And start building your ice cream cone. If you're here, feel free to say hi. I'm not sure if I'll see any of your comments until later. Sometimes Facebook Lives are tricky that way. And I don't get to see things when I'm going live. All right, just keep on building it up. And you don't have to be perfect straight on. I kind of like mine crooked. It just depends on how you like to stack your ice cream. There we go. Super playful and fun. Now I have that little bow right here, and that's in your kit. Go ahead and grab a glue dot and just attach that to the front of your, or the bottom of your front. And what we can do, a couple things. If you want to pinch this down and kind of get it together. If you're worried about this ribbon staying down, it's a really light ribbon, but you can even put another glue dot underneath the spot as well. All right, let's go ahead and glue this whole thing now onto our card base. And we'll be done with card number 1. When you glue this one on, you want to have it matching your DSP. So it covers DSP to DSP corners, just like that. Super cute. What a fun, happy birthday card. There you go. That's it. That's the first one of the day. Love it. Kind of a fun fold there. A little bit different than usual, which is always fun. All right, so that one showed off the DSP. Let's go ahead and do this one, which will require some fussy cutting and stamping and a lot of DSP on here as well. But the DSP on this one's more of the focal point versus what makes the ice cream cone itself. All right, so grab your old olive base for this one. Get that out. Should look like this. And get your items out for that. Let me grab, I'm missing just one ink color. I need 3 inks for this one. You need terracotta tile, bumblebee, Bermuda Bay, and that blackberry bliss. Let me grab my blackberry bliss real quick. All right, so I have it there. And this one, I've used a couple of dies I've added. So I've used the stitch nested label dies for this area here. And then I've used the mini heart dies that just came out in the new catalog. All right, go ahead and dump all your pieces out so you can see what you have. And let's stamp our cute little popsicles first. Let's get our foam mat back out, just like that. And I might grab more paper too. I'm going to do terracotta tile first. You want to make sure you have a wipe or something nearby for you to wash off your stamp because we're going to use it multiple times in different colors. What I like to do is do the top first and then have it lined up with the bottom. And go ahead and ink this up just like that. There's one. And if you wanted to make it more two-tone, you can ink off one of these ones. So I'm just going to go here and I'm going to try to line it up like that and press down. Awesome. I love the way that looks. That's so cool. How it's got the coloring on it, right? I've seen a couple of these popsicle ones that have it multicolor. So you can switch up it if you wanted to have different colors in here or keep it the same. Let's go ahead and close up that ink and let's grab our bumblebee. These are some of our in colors, our newer ones, which are super fun. And the terracotta is one of our older ones that's getting ready to retire soon. So I'm kind of using a little bit of old with the new. Okay, make sure these are nice and cleaned off. Let's grab some of that bumblebee and stamp it right there. I was meaning to do this step beforehand, and I totally spaced that I needed to make these. So you guys are just going to have to hang in there, or if you're watching the replay, feel free to fast forward the spot. There we go. See that? I'm not a fan of that one. Let me do that one again. Let me flip it over. I feel like that didn't get as good of a stamped image. And I didn't line it up very well either. There we go. And then we'll add this bottom. And that's looking better. All right. Let me wipe these ones down. Let me grab one more piece of that Whisper White or the Basic White, whichever one you currently have. We're in the middle of a switchover of whites. Okay, and we'll do our last color, which is that Bermuda Bay. Okay. So the top first. Just like that. And I'm going to show you what it would look like if I had stamped off. So let's do 2 of this color, just to give you an idea. And then the bottom. I'll line it up just right. So in the kit, this should be the only one, if you don't have the stamp set yet, it'd be tricky to finish. Most of the other ones, I use a lot of punch art. Oh, see, that looks better. Don't you like that one better? With the stamped off for the top. Looks like it's just a different color. That's super fun. Let's use that one. But first, before we do that, we need to grab our little popsicle stick. There's 2 images for this one. There's a some more like extra details in that one, and then this one has just the outside image. Let's close it up, and I'll get that one ready. We're going to use the cinnamon cider for this one. Open that up. And we'll just ink it up and line it up center as we can. I do the bigger one first, and then I'll grab this one and fill it in. And like I said, you can have it so that way one of them is stamped off. So let me show you how. This one I only inked up once. Let me go ahead and show you what it would look like. Almost don't have enough room on this one, huh? Next time I should give myself a little bit more space. Like that. See how that one's super light? And then we'll just do a little bit of the sky over it. Cute. The last one's on this side. Yeah, I'm suggesting you to do a stamp off for the top. I think that looks way better than the full on. I mean, there's still some coloring differences there, but I like that stamp off look as well. It just depends on how you want your popsicles to look. There's that stick and the extra little detail there. All right. Now you'd have to fussy cut this out, which sounds kind of crazy, but that's okay. Let me go ahead and grab my paper snips and show you how I like to do that. Close this ink up first. I do need to color or stamp a couple more things, so maybe we'll do that first too before you start fussing cutting. Let's go ahead and get your You Melt My Heart and our Blackberry Bliss ink out. And we're going to stamp the top of each of these popsicles with that little like blotchy look that we found. This one right here. Go ahead and ink that up. Just kind of stamp it right on there. Gives just a little added texture and makes those images look like they match with the heart. Cute. Loving those. And the last one, let's get our heart back in there. There it is. We're going to use the You Melt My Heart for this one. And you want to angle it so that way it's mostly on your heart. Then we'll have a little bit of letters that might not make it. There we go. And press down. Cute. Cute, cute. Okay. We have just a little bit of stamping left, but we'll save that towards the end, and you'll see why. So you want to keep those 3 colors we use handy. Go ahead and cut these out. Just grab your scissors. This is the easy shape, so it's not too hard. And go around. Just like that. As always, I love seeing your creations. For those who have the kit, to post them on our page when you guys are done. I think it's so fun. I love even when you do variations, and I can see that as well. I usually typically like your cards better than my originals, so please, please share away. Just cut around it. Let me know if you guys are fussy cutter queens or if you really don't like fussy cutting. We have a couple of people that we know. Melody Hyde is well known for her amazing fussy cutting skills. Not only does she like it, but she's really good at it. And there's a handful of people. I'm getting better at it. Again, it's not like my favorite. I love the dies. I love the punches because they make things so easy. But I'm not opposed to fussy cutting. Especially when it's something simple like this. If I had to make probably 50 of these, I probably wouldn't be so happy though. I guess it depends a lot on the quantity of the fussy cutting. Okay, we're almost done, you guys, with the popsicle. Throw those pieces aside. And now we need to grab out our nested stitch label that I've already have die cut out. And it's in your kit as well. It looks like that. And we're going to start attaching our popsicles. You want to play with them a little bit first. kind of get an idea or feel or where you want them to be. And then we'll just glue them down. However, before you do that, I'm going to suggest you go ahead and grab that little melted part of your stamp. Can you see that one? Okay, sorry. No, it's very little. It's like a little raindrop. When I first got the stamp set, I was like, what is that for? And then I saw it was for the melted popsicles. So go ahead and grab your ink. And this kind of gives you an idea of where you want it to be. And since our heart's going to be right here, I want to make sure that I put my melted side on this side for this one and on that side for that one. Let's go ahead. Grab my melted. And I'm just going to leave it right about there. Awesome. We'll clean that one off. And we'll do our bumblebee next. This would make a great Valentine's Day card. I know that's just tomorrow, but if you are making this kit today and you don't have a Valentine card yet ready for your spouse, this would be the perfect one. You melt my heart. Depends if you're like a lovey-dovey or if you're more of a funny person. This is my style of Valentine because it's not super mushy, but more funny. A good example, my husband and I's personalities, he gave me a birthday card once saying that he loves me like a fat kid loves cake. So we like our food for sure. So I think he would like this popsicle one. All right, we have all of our little melted spots on there. Let's go ahead and glue those down. Now our popsicles. And make sure I get that cleaned off. This one, just liquid glue, it works perfect for me. I'll just do a little bit and get a little bit on your popsicle stick as well. And just line it up so it looks like it's dripping from your popsicle. On back side. And you don't need a whole lot of liquid glue for this one. Especially when you push it down, it'll squish. And it'll fill that space, the spaces. There's that one. All right. Let's go ahead and start building the card as well. Grab that card base back in. And let's grab our pieces. We're going to have this white for the inside. Go ahead and grab, I'm running out of space, so I try to keep on cleaning as I go a little bit. Put a little bit adhesive on the back and put that on your inside. You could totally stamp another popsicle right here if you wanted to add that extra step as well. That would be super fun. Mine, I think I left blank. Yep, mine's just blank on the inside. Go ahead and grab, so this is that DSP that I used for those ice cream punches. You see how splotchy that looks on that side. So this paper was literally made to make ice cream cones, but then it has the other option on the other side if you'd rather use the more decorative DSP. And this DSP is called the Ice Cream Corner, which is super fun. I use liquid glue to attach this one, but if you wanted to pop this part up, you really could. That'd be great as well. Just kind of center it there. But I do recommend popping up this heart and to grab your little ribbon. You should have a little piece of this white polka dot tulle. And what you're going to do is just put some dimensionals on the back of your heart. And, oh, sorry. Take them off carefully. We're going to put this down first. Silly me. Now we got our dimensionals. There we go. You can even add one more right there if you want it to lay a little bit nicer and be 100% secure. So it'll look like that. See if we can focus. There we go. On the back side. And we'll remove our backings and add it to our card. Right about there. Kind of tilted. You should also have a really tiny little cute blue, I think it's called a blue backed adhesive gem. And just remove that from the clear acetate and add a little gem there. Love it. All right, there's that card and a fun way to stamp those popsicles. Love it. You guys ready for the next one? Let me clean up a little bit so you get the next one in view. This one is super sweet, has lots of layers, but it's fairly easy. And the one that I sent you has it all punched out for your ice cream cones. But I also wanted to show you what it would look like if you had the stamp set and you wanted to stamp instead of just punch. So you're going to grab your Bumblebee card base for your kit and open it up and grab all the things inside. Okay, there we go. That's our base. Let me grab my bone folder real quick and get this one a little nicer. You guys make sure you do that as well. When I folded your kits together, I just kind of lightly creased it. So it's a very small bend. So make sure you grab your bone folder and get it nice and good. Okay, so let's go ahead and just start adding. This is a really cool piece of So Saffron cardstock that I've embossed with that painted texture embossing folder, which I love. It is one of my favorite ones right now that adds so much detail and can be used on almost any project. I'm not gonna lie. I do suggest the liquid glue for that one, so it has filling all those nooks and crannies and it doesn't rip apart your paper when you have your adhesive. Let's go ahead and grab this in the inside as well. Just put a little bit of seal. And this one's mostly just layers. It's pretty easy and just very minimal stamping. Unless you go ahead and stamp all of the ice creams as well. So I sent you, because I can't send you stamped images, just these punched out flavors that look like that, and that's what's in the card. And then I've gone ahead and I've stamped some on my own, and I'm going to show you what that will look like on the card, so you can kind of see the difference for this one. Okay, so we do need to stamp just a little bit, and we're going to do You're So Cool here down the bottom in the cinnamon cider, and a little bit of that pool party background with that. I shouldn't think of a better name than just blotchy. But that's what that one is. It's just kind of like a blotchy one. That guy right there. And we'll grab our pool party out. This one, you just want to stamp kind of randomly, and you don't have to ink it up every time either. So I'm going to always start in the corner. Oh, look at that. I had... That is a faux pas. I did not wipe that off my last time. You see that? Don't worry. Later, I'll go ahead and dab that off, and I should be good. Just kind of get it a little bit there. My poor pool party. Don't worry. I'll use my re-inker, and it'll be as good as new. But in the meanwhile, let me go ahead and flip that one over, because it's kind of a cool look, the two-tone. We'll keep it the pool party. Man, today we are doing a lot of stamping. That's okay. We learn from mistakes too, right? Of how to fix things. There we go. So just kind of randomly. And this time I will wipe it off when I'm done so that I won't forget. I don't know if I'm going to use it for anything else, but we'll do that to be on the safe side. Okay. So this one, you'll see that I've also have a hole in it because I use that for a whole nother card. This is a great way to save paper. If just in case you're looking at that and thinking, why is there a hole in there? Don't worry, we're going to cover that hole. But let me go ahead and finish stamping the You're So Cool. If I can find it. There we go. Over in our cinnamon cider. And this one's small enough that I'm not even putting my foam mat underneath it. And I hopefully will be okay. Yep. Turned out great. Nothing to worry. That time. Let's go ahead and attach it to this guy, and then we will go ahead and build our ice cream cone. For the ice cream cone, you can either use dimensionals or just glue it on. Because I have so many layers in this card, I'm not going to use dimensionals for my actual ice cream, but I'll have dimensionals on the back of this piece here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this one, our cone. I always start with the cone first. A little bit of glue. There we go. And then we'll start doing our ice cream flavors. We'll start with the purple. This one I use the Highland Heather for this purple one right there. And if you wanted to, you could almost use just one. I'd probably do the one with the sprinkles, but you can use just one scoop if you're a one scoop kind of ice cream person. So we're going to make this one really cool and do just a couple more. There we go. Love it. So you kind of see the difference between the paper versus the stamping. Let me know which one you prefer. Do you like the stamped look of the ice cream better or the punch look? I am digging the stamped look. I think it looks really pretty. Go and grab your little linen thread bow, and glue dot, and we'll attach that right now as well. Let's grab it and stick it right there. Cute. All right. Let's go ahead and start and finish, I guess. Hold on. You didn't yell at me. I had to put this away first. You should know the rules. I can't leave out ink pads or else I make horrible messes. Okay. Let's go ahead. Oh, there we go. I have a little adhesive on the back of this from that hole. Yours, I don't think your kits have holes. I did that one just to add some extra space. Go ahead and glue your pieces together. If you prefer this side, you're welcome to use it. I really do like all the colors on these stripes here. And the DSP lets us know when we buy it or even in the catalog what colors are included. I don't have them memorized or else I would shout them all out, but it's super fun paper with lots of colors. So look at that a little bit, all those stripes. Okay, and we'll glue that on to our card front. Just a little bit to the left, and make sure you have some even tops and bottoms for your spacing. And then we'll grab dimensionals for this one. In the back, we'll have at least one in each corner, and I'll throw one in the middle. And then this card is basically done. It's just mostly layers, and if you wanted to add that extra stamping feature to it, I did want to tell you a tip real quick with the punch before I forget. Awesome. So cool. Because you are so cool. So the punch, the way it looks is this way. So when you have a piece of paper and you're stamping your ice cream scoops, you want to stamp them to kind of match that. So I use like a 1.5 inch strip of the basic white, and then I inked it up and I stamped my image going the same direction as my punch. And that made it really easy for me just to slide it along. Let me see if I have a paper to kind of show you nearby. So when I did it, I would just slide it through, keep on sliding it through. And I would start, oh, it's locked. There we go. I would slide it, I would stamp it this way, going the same direction, put it in here, punch it, and I'd always start from the left, working my way to the right because of this cone space here. And then I just keep on going through and punching as I went. That's my little ice cream builder tip to you. All right, I'll show you that card. It looks awesome, super pretty. And you can kind of see the difference of the punched versus the stamped ice cream. All right, last one. You guys excited for this one? This one was inspired by another demonstrator who made something very similar but used different paper and different embellishments. I went ahead and used the sprinkles, which you guys should have a little baggie of sprinkles, and to make this card today. And I kept it with our ice cream paper instead. So I'm using a terracotta tile red, which is kind of a red-pink color, which I think totally works for this one. If you've ever been to Disneyland, you might have tried the Mickey Mouse ice cream cones or ice cream popsicle stuff. And that's what this one reminds me of. So go ahead and grab your kit out. You should have all these little pieces. And this one is more like punch art. So the ones that we just did, if you kept that, that was more punch art too. I stamped mine before. But this one is solely just punch art, which makes it really fun. If you want, this is the time you would go ahead and emboss your happy birthday onto your scrap of terracotta tile and hope it's sweet on your bumblebee. However, I went ahead and did that already, and I'm just going to go ahead and fussy cut it out. So that's what it'll look like when you've embossed it. If you don't have embossing powder or the heating tool, what I would suggest for you to do is just to stamp it either in the same color as the cardstock or do a black. And that would be just fine. The black would look probably really nice because of the black from the Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. Just like that. So we're just going to take our paper snips and kind of outline the words. You don't have to be super detailed on this, but just to kind of zigzag your way through and go in and out. You can get as close as you want or make it a little bit spacier. Totally up to you. But this is a fun way to add sayings, and I love that it's on the colored paper. It gives it more of a pop a little bit. All right, there's our happy birthday. For the hope it's sweet, you're going to want to cut just as straight as possible. And then on the tops and the bottoms, and then divide the words up so they're one word only, just like that. And I'm going to cut off my ends so they're a little bit straighter. And sweet, hope, and it's. There we go. And make sure you don't lose those as you've cut them. Set them in a safe spot. There we go. So those are ready for us now. Let's go ahead and build our Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. I do need you to stamp one more thing, which is, and to fussy cut one more thing, which are these little popsicles. So grab your cinnamon cider out. And let's go ahead and ink up those ones. And I'm actually stamping cinnamon cider on cinnamon cider, which is kind of crazy, but it's fun. It's just like that. There's one. There's two. If you wanted to make it look lighter, just stamp it off once, and that's what it look lighter on there. Totally up to you. And then we'll go ahead and get our little detail over it to make it look like a wooden stick. And we'll fussy cut those out. This one, I would say, is like the expert level of stamping. It has a lot of technique in this one, a lot of different skill levels, but makes it super fun. I've used the Dainty Diamonds embossing folder, and I've used the stitch shapes to create that bumblebee circle with the stitch ends. And of course, we've used that embossing white powder with a Versamark and the heat tool. All right, there we go. You guys ready to help me build this now? So what we need to do for our Mickey is cut his little terracotta guy, and you want to cut him almost less than half. So here's his head. We're going to cut him just below his belt area a little bit, like that. If you want to start higher and then work your way down, that's totally fine as well. Grab one of your basic white ice cream scoops, because that's what this came from. It's the ice cream scoop just turned upside down. Super fun. Okay, a little bit of glue. Liquid glue I recommend, because we're going to have to shimmy it around to make sure we're not showing. There we go. And that's the awesome thing, is that we use the punch, and so it should match up really nicely. Cute. For Minnie's bows, I've used the dog punch, and I've cut out 2 of the little hearts from there. We'll attach those in just a second when they're on, and we need our sprinkles. So let's go ahead and give our Mickey Mouse some sprinkles. Actually, we'll have them ready. Make sure you have the bumblebee and the terracotta tile sprinkles ready to go here in a second as we start to build up the rest of our card. All right, let's grab our base right here, which should be our thick whisper white, and let's attach our pieces here. This is an inch, so just taking an inch off to give that extra border. But otherwise, this covers up the whole front of your card base. So it's going to line up from side to side, just like that. If you be careful, if you're worried about the space, you could do your DSP first on there. I think mine will line up just fine though. Put that on there and have it go flush against that edge there. That's looking pretty good. Okay. I usually like to work with my card bases flat, so it's different for me. But that looks good. Okay, Next, let's go ahead and add our little circle, a stitched bumblebee circle. And we'll put it with liquid glue, and we're going to have it kind of a little bit higher. And we want a little bit on the side here of our DSP. Just like that. We're going to go ahead and attach our little popsicle ends to the back of our Mickey and Minnie. Just a little bit of glue should be fine. And then we're going to add dimensionals to the back of these guys. Just like that. See how that's squished out? So we just need a little bit. Dimensionals. Let's give Minnie hers. And for Mickey, he is going to be slightly lopsided. He'll be fine. I'll keep his a little bit lower though. There we go. Okay. So let's go ahead and put Minnie on first. She doesn't look much like Minnie yet because she just doesn't have her bow, but we'll add it. And we're going to kind of put her a little bit tilted and going towards the left side. And then with the Mickey, we're going to layer him just below her a little bit, but they're still kind of touching and overlapping there. All right, let's add her bow. Let's give her just a little bit of glue on both sides of her, on her head, and attach our hearts there. If you wanted to use a glue dot for this part, you totally could. You want them to touch in the center, though, your bows to make, or your hearts to make the bow. Just like that. Push them together. All right. Let's go ahead and add our words, and then I'll finish off with all the sprinkles. So for our happy birthday, we're going to also use dimensionals. So this card looked really intimidating, and I told you it's more of the expert level, but it comes together really nicely, and it works great with those punches. To get those shapes that we needed. We're going to add our happy birthday just below the sticks a little bit. And we're just going to liquid glue our hope it's sweet. And I'm just going to put a dot at each spot that I want. And then I'll situate my words. So my hope, I'm going to have it just tilted a little bit upward like that. My it's, and keep it kind of straighter. Press down, and sweet. Just like that. And I went a little bit further down this time versus that one. I probably could have moved it up just a little bit, but it still worked just fine. All right, now let's go ahead and add 2 dots for his cute little buttons on Mickey Mouse. And we'll need a dot for her hair as well, her bow. And then you just put a couple more little dots on. This would be a nice time to use your take a pic tool. If you have one, to use that to help grab it. Or if you have fingernails. I like to not use it straight from there. I usually sprinkle some of my sprinkles into the lid and then add it on there. All right. So there's one. Let me get my take a pic tool so I can show you how I use that better. All right. I'll just grab it like this and stick it on. You usually need one more hand to help you adjust it. There's her little bow center. And these sprinkles are kind of like a weird foaminess. I don't know how to describe them. They're really light and fun to play with though. There's that one. See how much easier this take a pic tool makes it for me to grab those. It's a lot easier. And one more. You should have extra sprinkles, so if you wanted to put sprinkles on any of your other projects today, you totally could have with that kit. All right, you guys, I think that's the end. Here we have our cute Mickey and Minnie Mouse Happy Birthday ones. And then we also had our You're So Cool. Let me get these all in. I don't want to ruin that one. We have You Melt My Heart with that fun popsicle one that required a little bit of fussy cutting and showed off how we can stamp those a little bit better. And then this one featured that DSP to make our fun ice cream scoops and allowed us to have a mini card base in the middle. Super fun cards. I hope you guys have learned something today, and I will have all the measurements up over on my blog, so be sure to check that out and the supplies that I used from Stampin' Up. Hope you guys have a great weekend and happy Valentine's Day. Goodbye.